So the Challenger stage of the Rio Major is over, and I did fairly well on the Challenger stage, but I think the Legend stage is going to be a little bit more tricky. Greyhound, screw your pick'ems, they said to pretty much the majority of people who played this, I think. And then OG, they faced Vitality in their last match there, so just sort of broke even there. So moving on to the Legend stage, first and foremost, I'm going to pick Team Liquid for my NA fanboy, Hopium and Copium. They've been looking pretty strong since the addition of Yakinder. I think they can get through to the next stage and to the playoffs. And then my next two are going to be FaZe and Na'Vi, just kind of three sort of, I won't say guaranteed, but safe bets to get a few points. They could all realistically go 3-0, but as we know, majors, best of ones, equal upsets. Just look at Greyhound here. They beat Cloud9, who, speaking of, the last time this happened, they went 0-2 in the Challengers. They won the entire thing. I'm just saying, no, I'm not picking them. I really like the roster. I do like the team, but they looked really not very good at all. Yeah, they lost to Greyhound, they lost to Fnatic, and to get through, they beat Imperial, Evil Geniuses, and Gamer Legion. And Gamer Legion was probably the strongest of all of them, so not necessarily the strongest opponents they faced, and they kind of struggled all the way through. Like, look at all these overtimes. The easiest time they had was Evil Geniuses, which isn't a surprise, but sorry, boys, I'm gonna have to say that I'm not gonna pick you this time. I hope I'm wrong. Again, I really like Hobbit specifically. He's one of my favorite players, but sorry, dudes. Gonna have to skip you on this one, but prove me wrong. So for my next pick, this is where it gets hard. After these three teams, I'm really struggling, but I think I'm gonna do Vitality. Much like Cloud9, they looked shaky in the Challenger stage, but I think Zywoo's gonna fucking just pop off even harder, and then Apex, he's an old man like me, but he can still show up and pop off every once in a while. I think they'll get through to the champion stage, or the playoffs, whatever you want to call it. Next up, let us see. I think Heroic are looking pretty strong still. I think they'll make it through. I don't think they'll do like 3-0 or anything like that. They definitely could. They're kind of one of those teams where they either pop off or they just go silent, but I think lately they've been popping off. I think they'll get through. The next two, I think Furia will make it through. They didn't look super strong, but they're also Furia. They're in Brazil. They're in their home turf. The crowd's going to help lift them up a little bit. I think they'll make it through, and it's going to be hype as hell. And then finally, I think Nip actually do look pretty strong. So do Mouse. This one's kind of hard, like the hardest one for me, this last slot. Nip has looked pretty good, and Mouse has looked pretty good. Spirit, they did get through to Legend Stage 3-0. I'm going to go with Mouse. It might not be the best pick, but I think they will squeak through in the end. The 3-0 pick, that's kind of like a YOLO. That's where I might put Nip. Probably won't go 3-0, but again, if they do, awesome. If they don't, I'm not going to be heartbroken or surprised. And then for my 0-3, Cloud9 or Fnatic. It could be really any of these remaining ones. I haven't really watched ENCE play enough lately, so I don't know if they might be strong, they might not be. Sprout, kind of the same deal. I don't think I've watched them play since like the RMR. Bad News Eagles. I don't want to do that to the boys. They gave me a nice point here. But I think 0-3, I might do Fnatic. It might be blasphemy to a lot of people, but I think they kind of barely beat Cloud9. They haven't really impressed me that much. The only reason I'm not doing Cloud9 for 0-3 is because they're facing FaZe first. And yeah, FaZe is a very strong team right now, but the past two times they faced FaZe, they've beaten them, so I think they might actually pull a best of one out against FaZe at the very least. So I'm not going with them for 0-3. I think this is what I'm going to kind of do with my picks. I've been... this is definitely a tough stage. I've been flip-flopping a lot. I've been locking them in and unlocking them, and I think this is what I'm going to do for my final picks. Tough stage, but I think we'll see how we do. Liquid starts it off tomorrow at 10 a.m. here, Eastern Time, and in Brazil. So, as always, thank you all very much for watching. Good luck on your pick'ems, and see you next time.